Oh. 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 Oh, lads. Boy, oh boy, do I have a story to say. But before we do that, I'm going to quickly text someone, and this would link very well to the story. Actually, you know what? let me try not to expose any names or anything before we go into the story. Because it's currently, just to context, it is 44 past midnight. It is a Thursday, well, technically it's Thursday morning, and I got so many things to say at this time, and just to set the context, I've had a couple pints, and I would think I'll sleep on this, but this is just one of those moments where I would think, no, I actually want to talk about it right now, to be honest. I'm going to do my absolute best for Kane, for the future Kane, to try and set the stone, and I think this is something that's really crucial to just hit nail in the bud. Before we do that real quick, let me message someone. Oh, he doesn't have WhatsApp? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I have him. Yeah. Okay. Alright. I just messaged this person. Alright, so before we go into the actual story, wow, 2 minutes already. What the hell? How long did it take me to message someone? What the hell? Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Just to keep the names anonymized, I'm gonna quickly open Notepad real quick. And I'm gonna quickly write some names, random names, so I can keep a matrix of what went down, but without exposing the actual people behind this. So, okay, so I'm gonna call, what's a cool name? Okay. Okay. Trying to think of a cool name. Okay. And what's one more name? Got it. Oh no! Actually, hold on. That's too vague. Hold on. I got a name. I got a name for this. For this geezer. Hold on. And let's go for. Okay. All right. Cool. So. Okay. So. As we're 4 minutes in, so this is going to be a really interesting video, and hopefully I have some gameplay to kind of, you know, just to play in the background. But it's 48 past midnight. I've had a couple of pints. I think I had 4 pints, and you would think that it'd be wise to go to sleep and then try and speak about this, but I actually think I would like to talk about this right now, and that's what my heart tells me, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So what I just did right on here on Notepad is I basically just created a kind of a simple way just to keep on track of like all the names and just like mix it up. So every name that I'm mentioning here is not the actual person. Like I'm keeping this anonymous, but just for the sake of keeping the story, I know who they are in my heart, but everyone else who's probably listening to this, they have no clue who these people are. I got a hot cup of milk because this is gonna be a long road. Right, so yeah, where do we even begin with this? There's so much to unravel in this one, man. So okay, I guess the first thing I'll probably say is I am currently 27, and I have never been in an actual serious relationship. So so everything I say here is coming from the perspective. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. So everything I'm saying, just take that with a grain of salt, because this is coming from someone who's like, who really wants to be in a real committed relationship. And as a kid, I've had a couple of drinks, and I'm gonna try my best to try and keep this as real as possible, but trying to keep it exaggerated or trying to be someone that I'm not. That's gonna be a theme I'm gonna try and convey in this video, by the way. So anyway, as of making this video, it is currently the 9th of January 2025, but the actual day in which all of this happened was the day before, so which is the 8th of January 2025. Now, just to set the scene, as I said, I'm single. As a 27-year-old, I have been my main source of trying to, 2024 was an interesting year of, I've been exposing myself to, to dates, to the dating scene, and I've been on a couple of dates. So I've been on 4 dates with various people, and I met all of them through Hinge. So all of them I've met through online dating. I had that one moment in my life where I think I was 20. Hold on, I'm gonna try and remember this because this was in 2021, I think. No, this was definitely 2021. So I would not be surprised. So it was I would not be surprised I was 23 when I did this. Yeah, I did do a cold approach at the one time in my life, and it was my first rejection, and it was actually really cool. And yeah, but for the most part, in terms of dating experiences and all that, it's all come through online dating. Okay. I try and in context to the content, the gaming videos that I've done, I try to make a video playing through Power Rangers as a way to cope with what I just experienced on one of the dating apps called Hinge. And prior to using Hinge, or at least during that period, which was I think on Sunday, yeah, it was Sunday, I remember having a crush on someone at work. I had a crush on someone at work, and I said had a crush at work. And I thought and when I say crush, I was more attracted to them because I thought they were really good looking. I didn't really know if they were my type or not. They seemed to be more extroverted while I'm a bit more reserved. But I was more attracted to them physically, right? And that was during the December period. So we're in January. In December, that was the first time I got to see them. And, through a work colleague, they introduced me to them. And I thought they were really cool, and I thought they were really attractive. Looks department. And yeah, when it came to the Christmas period, the Christmas break, I couldn't help but thinking, I thought every now and then I thought about them. Because I was thinking, wow, I was like, oh, they were like my absolute crush, right? So this week, I think, is the week where everyone just came back to work. I basically worked throughout most of that Christmas period. I worked throughout most of it. This week was the first week of 2025 going back into the office. Obviously, one of the things that I was somewhat concerned about was going back to the office, and I'll tell you why. So today is Wednesday, and yeah, it's now Thursday morning right now. But Sunday night, I basically told one of my boys, one of my closest mates, who's, I told him that, and I basically promised him, look, I promise you that I'm gonna be consistent on using Hinge. Like, I'm gonna be trying to using it like 3 hours a day. You know, I'm gonna be, and I made that commitment. I think I'm, you know, from like basically last Friday. You know, I basically said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna basically go ahead and put myself out there, because from the bottom of my heart, I truly want a good and genuine relationship. I want that. You know, when my boy told me that, like, look, he is actually someone who's actually, he met someone through Hinge. It's actually really working well for them. They've kissed. I mentioned this in one of my videos. I think it was the Simpsons Hit and Run episode. I think it might have been the first episode or second episode. I talked about this, and you know, and when he told me how much effort he put into it, I couldn't help but feel inspired, and I really wanted what he wanted, but in the sense that not because I wanted to replicate someone else's results, but it's just something I truly dreamt about. I really want this. I really want the opportunity to, because look, it's not out of desperation, but it's like more of a desire. You know, I enjoy my life. You know, I've been doing my own things, working on my own stuff, working on my own craft, and it'll be cool to share that with someone. It should be too cool to share that my experiences with someone else. And that's why I really want that opportunity to get to know someone even further, right? And that's why I told him, and he told me, you got to be a bit more consistent. I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a promise to him. I'm going to stay committed to this. And so ever since last Friday, I've been trying to keep like minimum 3 hours a day, each day, to try and get some matches. And to basically try and see if we can make something happen. Mind you, I didn't know it was Valentine's Day in February, so it's even more wilder thinking about this. But it never crossed my mind, and to be honest, it doesn't really bother me either. Like I couldn't care less if I not find someone in February. If I don't find him in February, that's cool. But yeah, I made a commitment to my boy. I'm gonna be consistent on it, and I've been, you know, I recreated my Hinge on Friday. I've been consistently using it on, you know, 3 hours a day. So you know, Friday cool, Saturday cool. I think I had like probably for 3 hours a day, you know, at least I got at least one match each day on Friday and Saturday. But when it came to Sunday was a bit of a different day. You know, I would think I went into this going in with thinking it's gonna be another day, you know, just going through some, you know, using it for 3 hours, using it for 3 hours, and dipping. But then all of a sudden, I ended up matching. Not matching. Sorry, that's just that's me deluding myself here. But just as the key, I'll set the context. So you remember the first time I was saying I was having a crush out of work? On that very day on Sunday, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna probably most likely gonna see them in the office on Wednesday, which was yesterday. And I had no idea what I meant to call them. You know, I had no idea. And I was thinking, are they called this or this? Now, for the sake of this video, I got mapping for this. I'm gonna call them Megan. Yeah, why not, man? Megan. You know, I was thinking to myself, do I call them Meg? Do I call them Megan? You know, obviously it's a different name, but I didn't know what the hell to call them. What was their actual name? Because I knew their full name, but I knew they had a nickname, which, you know, her close friends like to call her. But I didn't know what that was. So that was one of my shower thoughts, I'll say. So had a shower in the morning, you know, got changed, went onto Hinge, and I swiped away. I'll say when I went into the swiping session, lo and behold, I saw Megan on the app. I was so shocked. I was like, what the hell? I was so shook. And I actually had to swipe. I actually probably looked to see is this real? Is this actually her? And turns out, I looked in the actual photos and I realized, oh my gosh. And I looked at the actual profile and I realized, this is actually Megan. This is the same Megan who's from the US. The exact same state. And I was like, and to be honest, when I found out about this, you know what I did? I actually closed Hinge, and I found a way just to cope, because I was so shocked. I was like completely flabbergasted. I'm thinking, how do I do? Do I like them, and actually expose the fact that basically tell them that I actually like them, and potentially it could either work or it might not work in. If it doesn't work, it's going to make it mad awkward in the workplace. Or walk away and just reject them and just like move on. I basically I swiped left. I rejected because I thought I basically could potentially be turning down the opportunity to get to know someone pretty cool. And the opportunity to get to know them as a friend. That was my mentality. And later on, obviously, I was still in shock. I was thinking, oh, maybe I should have swiped right on them. So, I made a video trying to play through Power Rangers or PS1, as a way to try and cope about this. Like, the copium was real in that video. I don't even know if I'm going to even upload that video. Because, not only the fact I leaked their name, but bro, it was just a wrap. It was like really bad in terms of how I was really coping in that particular video. And I'm happy to show the gameplay just to show how shit I was at Power Rangers. But in terms of the actual what I was saying in that video, I don't think I want to do that. Because it was really demonstrating just how lost I was, especially when that situation happened. And that's just me speaking from the heart. And yeah, so that was Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, not much happened. I basically, and actually no, even on Sunday. Okay, so Sunday night, I was speaking to my close mate, the one who I basically said, look, I'll try and use Hinge for 3 hours a day. I basically told him that. I had a call with him. I told him what just went down, what I just experienced. And he told me I did the right thing to swipe left on this person, because I thought, as the saying goes, don't shit where you eat. I think that's the saying. Wait. I think it is. Hold on, wait. I know there was a saying about this. Let me quickly Google this real quick. Don't shit where you eat. I'm pretty sure this is the saying. Don't shit where you eat. And this expression refers to doing anything that would jeopardize something important or essential to you. Yeah. And this is basically the saying that my boy said. And he's absolutely right. If I went ahead and swiped right on this person, if it works, great. But if it doesn't work, it's going to really jeopardize everything I worked hard for in this current workplace. As I said, this person who I had a crush on is in the context of the work that in the company I work for. It's just like, yeah, not really the greatest situations. Funnily enough, after I hung up, after we ended the call, I just, I continued to use Hinge just before I go to bed. Lo and behold, you know how Hinge is like, they like to show the same. If you rejected a profile in the past, it will show you the same profile. It will just try to tease you and say, oh, you sure you don't want to match with this person? Oh, so you sure you don't want to like this person? And let alone, Megan came up again. And, again, and this time round, I actually looked at their pictures, I looked at the prompts. And the thing I liked about Megan, in all honesty, I like the fact that their prompts was pretty cool. It said they were looking for something long term. The prompts that they had clearly showed, their personality without really revealing as much about themselves, and I thought that was fairly respectable. Now the thing now was I didn't really set the context on this is that, as I said, I'm 27. I didn't realize this person who I had a crush on, well, she was 23, so Megan was 23, and I found out on Hinge. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So of course, on the second, I swiped left again. You know, because I thought, you know, as the saying goes, don't shit where you eat. I'm not gonna entertain that. So I swiped left and moved on. So, and I thought I'll get over it. You know, and I thought, okay, this is probably the right choice because I thought this would be a good opportunity. You know, it is an opportunity to get to know this person. And if I end up liking something right, I think it's just gonna be mad awkward. And I thought you just basically eliminated the opportunity to get to know a certain group. And I thought, you know, I kind of want to get to know them potentially, right? Well, so that was on Sunday, right? That was my mentality on Sunday. And to be honest, I believe I made the right choice. So Monday happened, cool, nothing much happened. Tuesday, not much happened, got a trim, as you can see. So on Wednesday though, that was the first time me coming into the office in 2025, and there was a lot of things to explain in this one. Holy crap, we're already in 21 minutes. So anyway, it was cold. I managed to get into the office around 8:40 or 8:50. You know, got to see my close colleagues. That was all cool. You know, I think the funny moments or the interesting moments. So we had a team meeting that happened, I believe, at 10. So this will be on Wednesday. So yesterday at 10 a.m. we usually have a team meeting, and well, based on the way I was, so if you just imagine, I was sitting. The way I was sitting is like I can basically see everyone. You know, I can see who's logging in remotely into the meeting. I can see everyone on beside me, and I can also see what's going on in the office. You know, because we're in a meeting room. I can see everything basically. So as the meeting was progressing, I think it was like halfway into the meeting, and I didn't really think much of it. And then all of a sudden, I saw a person at the corner of my eye, and I actually thought, I was like, is that? And in the corner of my eye, I thought, oh wait, is that Megan? You know, because I thought, just for context, the person in terms of how do you? And the question is, how the hell did you even get introduced to Megan? Well, there was one person who basically introduced me to Megan and her friend. It was recently through a colleague, and I recently joined a client project, and we basically bonded over the fact that. So, just for context, I recently joined a new client, a new project, and I had the opportunity, and I got to work, you know, for one of the projects. I am for this client. I am working with someone called, let me just look at the matrix. Yeah, his name is Kai. His name is Kai. So yeah, Kai, you know, a really nice guy. You know, he's also from America, you know, and this was like during this time when I got to meet Kai, we also met someone else who's in the same, and by the way, Kai is also, he's 1 year older than me. I'm 27, he's 29. And there's also another person who recently joined the company who's also a similar age of us, and we'll call him Max. Max, to be honest, Max is such a cool guy. I really like Max. And yeah, he is definitely such a safe guy. But in here, I think he's either 28 or 29. But I've really gone well with him. And myself, Max, and Kai, and also another close colleague. We went out for drinks. We went out for lunch. We went out for drinks. I really do like these guys. And then it was true that they, Kai, who's the more extroverted one, basically introduced me to his, female colleagues, all female, girlfriends, basically. And when I say girlfriends, they're like actual girlfriends. Megan was one of them, and the other one was, she's really cool. They're both cool. So so on Wednesday, after realizing what happened, the shenanigans that happened on Sunday, so when I saw on Sunday, I saw Megan. I'm fairly sure she went over to just basically see Kai, because again they're really close friends, and I'm sure this is the first time they're seeing each other since 2025, since they last saw each other in 2024. And obviously, I was partially distracted and trying my best to try and focus on the meeting, but I couldn't help but just think. I was like, fudge, Megan's in the office. I thought, damn. I was like, it is possible I'm going to end up seeing them. And what was so funny is that I remember in the corner of my eye, I saw Megan and Kai walking past the meeting room, and I think they were going to get coffee. You know what I did? As soon as when they're walking past us, I was trying so hard. And the thing is, one of my colleagues, it was speaking of the left side, and it's on the left side as well. I could see my colleague. I could see Kai and Megan walking. So if I look in basically in my colleague's direction, I'm gonna basically see them in the corner of my sight. And I thought, okay, so I try. So you know what I just did? They walked past, and this is me. I didn't spit. I just spit. I basically looked down on the desk. That's how shy I was, and I was like, I just felt so awkward about it. And they walked past, and I thought, okay, cool, it's done. I basically and then throughout the day, I was just really thinking about just life in general. If there was just one thing that just really hit home with me, and the one thing I really did yesterday, is work hasn't been the greatest. And I basically reached out to like two of my closest friends, and I just basically asked them, is this something that really happens? Like, is this, basically I just asked them, look, I'm currently bored and depressed in my current job. Is this normal in any job? Like, because I'm a consultant, and these guys who I contacted, they're developers. I don't know if this was a thing, and I didn't really know what to think of it. So I reached out to them. And I really was thinking about that, and I really was sincerely thinking about like the next steps, and it just, everything in terms of how work has been going hasn't been the greatest, and I really have been thinking about my next step and potentially making another move towards another company. And this is all going on, even with the whole Megan situation, right? So even, as they walk past, and, I think the one thing that kind of kept me going was just thinking about, like, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to move forward? And that's the thing that I was just thinking of. That's kind of helped me get through the day, And it gave me the motivation to reach out to one of my colleagues. He used to mentor me, and I thought, let me just reach out to him. He was in the office too. I just quickly grabbed him for like a 30-minute break, and just grabbed him for 30 minutes, and I just asked him straight up. I've told him straight up. I was like, I was miserable. I was just not really digging it, and I realized if he experienced similar things, and he actually did. It was actually a really productive conversation, and he gave me some tips to try to, like, he said, if you're having those moments where you're feeling demotivated and you're doing things that you don't want to do, try and seek training opportunities or opportunities to learn new things, and even try and if it's the boredom is stemming from the task that you're doing, can you actually make it? Is there like a pragmatic way to try and solve this, to try and actually approach this, and actually solve it in a way that's actually going to be a lot more entertaining and a lot more that's going to keep your brain stimulated. Because my motivation and me feeling stimulated really has stemmed from me, building, so designing and building software. That is basically my bread and butter. And I haven't had that experience in quite a while in this job. And most of the stuff I've been doing lately has just been purely manual, and it's just been really depressing to me. And that's why I had to reach out to someone. That's why I reached out to two of my close friends, and reached out to a current colleague. And it was a good conversation. I thought, let me see if there's any opportunities for me to actually, train and actually better myself. Because if I was to train and upskill myself, that's actually going to put me in a much better position to actually secure and bag the next opportunity. So it makes sense. So shout outs to this person. I'm happy to say his name actually. Like, it's a very common name. Greg, shout outs to you, man. Yeah. So that was towards the end of the day. So the end of the day happened, and then here comes the interesting part. So I knew there was going to be drinks after work. Kai basically invited me to go for drinks, and I thought, you know what, started around 75, and I thought, cool, let's do it. I also knew that Max was also going to join with us. I thought, you know what, if Max is going to be joining us, I thought that's great. Oh, there's also, and then there's also, we also invited someone else, and he's also a really close colleague to me. His name is Tyson. I mean, for the sake of the video, his name is Tyson. And yeah, Tyson is actually someone who I've gotten really well with. Like, there are a bunch of colleagues, in the technical team, and Tyson is one of those people who I trust and really get on well with. I think, he's 34 from what he mentioned to me last night. Yeah, he's 34. Yeah, and yeah, I respect him a lot. He's a really good colleague. I really like just hanging out with him and just working with him. He gets the work done, and that's what I like about him. And we both report to the same manager. So when it came to the end of the day, I saw, basically, I'm basically looking at the Matrix. So Kai was done. Max was done. So they were basically packing up. I was packing up too. Megan was also packing up. And the thing is, at this point, it was like 5:30 or 5:34 or something. And I low-key thought at this point, it was late in the night. I mean, it was late, and I thought, excuse me. Yeah, I legit thought it was just going to be me. It was just going to be the lads. I didn't think Megan was actually going to join. I thought I saw Megan in the morning. I thought there's no shot I'm going to be seeing Megan this late. So, when I packed up, I saw Kai went across to the other. So there's two sides to the office basically, and so me, Max, Kai, and Tyson, all of us were on one side, and Megan was basically on the other side of the office. So I saw Kai go to the other office to basically, and I thought, there's no shot you're gonna be calling Megan. I'm thinking, no way. And then all of a sudden, so Kai went back to us, and then I saw Megan come to us, and I was like, what the I was like, what? I was so shook, but at the same time I had to keep it cool, obviously. Just keep it chill. Obviously I didn't say anything, because I was still, it was still a weird situation. I'm thinking, I saw you on Hinge, right? But obviously I didn't say anything. So I thought, okay, let's just keep it chill, keep it smiling, and crack on with it. So as Kai and Max and Megan were leaving, I also saw, and we already know we invited Tyson. So I basically went to Tyson, and I basically asked him, hey, you fancy joining us? And he said, oh, I'll be there in 5 minutes, or I'm gonna be ready in 5 minutes. I thought, I'm happy to wait, because I was like, do I really want to be, with them? I thought, you know what, Tyson is actually, of all the people, Tyson is definitely the one person who I've gotten on with the most. And I thought, if it means waiting for him, I'll do it. And we did, and I did, and it was funny because, as Tyson was packing up, I also saw my manager was about to dip. We had a quick talk, and, manager told me, it's like, sorry, I was meant to have a conversation with you, and we'll have a catch up eventually. And I thought, that's cool, man. That's cool. I have a decent relationship with my manager. I'm thinking safe. So said bye to the manager. Tyson was ready, so I just walked with Tyson. Tyson, to be fair, he was meant to be sober in January. That did not happen, my friends, as you'll see later on in this video, man. Jesus Christ. So yeah. So me and Tyson walking. God damn, that's hot water. But yeah, we basically joined. Actually, you know what? Let me put the lid open to let's go. It's hot. Yeah. So me and Tyson, we walked over to them. And then we all made our way to the pub. So yeah, we walked to the pub. And I think it was Kai. Yeah, Kai was the first one to basically get the first rounds. So it was just me, and I'm fairly sure. Yeah. That's it. So I basically spoke to Megan for a bit, and Max and Tyson, but they were talking. They introduced each other, and they spoke as well. Oh man, I hope my tongue is not burnt from this, man, from the hot water. But yeah. So me and Megan talked. We talked a brief. Just talking. What's been going on? How's the holidays, Christmas holidays, and all that good stuff. Cool, chilled out, relaxed conversation. And the pints went in, and we were talking. Another pint went in, and I think I had probably 3 pints with all of them. I think. So Max had to leave fairly early because he had a dentist appointment. I don't know what dentist appointment has. It happens at 6:30, but I digress. But Max, I honestly, I was gutted because I really like Max. So I was really gutted to see him leave fairly early. But I still had Tyson with me. So as we're going in, we're having more pints. So me, Kai, and Tyson, we're basically 3 pints in. We're talking a multitude of things, and I don't know how to explain this one. This is a very weird one. So Kai went to the, and I'd rather get this out in the open. So Kai, he went to the restroom, and it was just me, Tyson, and Megan. So I'm very close with Tyson, so I knew Tyson was, and just for context, Tyson's the kind of person who would, when he has a couple of drinks, he will definitely, he says a lot of funny things, and I like Tyson for that, man. But I like him when he's sober as well. So it was very funny when when he was with us. I was really happy he was with us in the first place. But then all of us, so as we're going through the, I've said, one of the things Tyson said was whether I had a crush on someone in our team, and okay, what would be the name for this person? Okay, we're gonna give them the name of Jennifer. Man, you can tell I am not the greatest with names. Jennifer. Oh, maybe it's Jennifer. Whatever, Jennifer. Right. You know, they give it so Tyson basically asked me if I, in front of my original crush of Megan, if I had a crush on or if I had feelings for Jennifer, and I immediately said no, and I think I made a big deal out of it, and obviously because I was one of those people who was like, it's tough because I have trust issues, especially when it comes to work, socials, and when it comes to these things, even when I was talking to my boy on Sunday, I don't want to be fucking around with work crushes and all that shit. And I'm sorry to keep the language and all that, but it's true. Don't shit where you eat, and that's why I thought to myself, I worked so hard to get to this point. I don't want any person, I don't care how, if I have a crush on you, I am not going to let you ruin everything that or impact everything that I worked hard for. And that's why it meant everything to me. And that's why I adamantly said no. And obviously, Tyson was just mocking and saying, "Oh, it's just a joke, man. Just a joke." And I was like, "No, man." I was like, "I'm gonna keep this on the rust, man. I'm gonna keep it low key." And I think that was the point when we, and I think who got the third? I can't remember who got the third point. Oh no, it was Megan. Megan, I think, got the third point, the third rounds, and so Tyson pulled me aside. And just on a one-on-one, just so me and Tyson, because Kai and Megan went over to get drinks, and I thought, okay, let's just stand outside, let's just talk it through. And he was like, and Tyson generally felt bad for what he said. It's like it was just joking, and I told him straight up and just told him, look, it's nothing personal. It's just that I sincerely have trust issues. Especially the fact, and again, this all comes from the fact that I didn't have a great experience in my previous place, and especially when it comes to, being buzzed and all that stuff. I've had a rough experience being in that same position. I didn't have a good experience in my previous place, and that's why I don't really trust. My mentality is that I always fend for myself, and it takes a lot for me to trust you. And there were only a few colleagues in there I will trust, and even then I'm always skeptical, like, do I really trust you or do I not trust you, if you catch my drift. And we spoke it out, and obviously what ended up happening, so as we were talking, of course Kai and Megan got the drinks round and they saw we were talking and they were smiling at us. And to be honest, I literally said, I don't give a fuck what they think of us. I just told them straight up. We spoke it out. And to be honest, shout out to Tyson for having that courtesy to just talk to me one-on-one. It takes a lot of respect to do that. So shout out to that guy. So yeah, both me and Tyson joined back in. And, I think we're just talking about a load of stuff I don't really particularly remember. And, and actually there are things I'll probably say, but, let me just say, it wasn't much to really say. And I think all I remember is I basically went to the restaurant myself. I remember Tyson, basically he was going to go for a smoke. And I thought, okay, cool. So, went to the restroom, went back. I saw Megan and Kai just talking. So, and I didn't see Tyson. So, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to go to Tyson and just Spoke to him. And that's when things got really interesting. So I really got to, well, me and Tyson were speaking. And man, my boss man, Tyson was speaking. He was speaking facts, man. And, you know, he was just talking about our manager, just talking about work. And it was good, man. It was good. And then, you know, Kai and Megan joined us. And they were leaving, basically. And, they gave us a bag and coat. And it was just... And then, you know, they dipped. And it was just me and Tyson for the rest of the night. And this was what was bizarre. We didn't even finish our pints yet. So they finished their pints. They dipped. It was just me and Tyson. And that's when the night got even more interesting. And I thought the night was over. And this was, I think this was a freaking 8 or something. Bro, it is 1:30 right now. And I think we finished at like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 11, dude. It was mad. It was mad with Tyson. So, when I left, Tyson legit just spoke to me and just told me, okay, what is the real deal? What's going on? Like, do you really have a crush on Jennifer? And, you know, and at this point, we were 3 pints in. We basically ordered another pint. We ordered some wings, you know. And I remember the wings came, the pint came in, and I was drinking. I was buzzed. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna tell him the truth. Because I know that everything we talked about is staying between me and him. And I told him the truth. And I told him that I didn't have a crush. I told him I didn't have a crush on Jennifer, but I actually had a crush on Megan. And he was like, oh wait, Megan, the one we were just speaking to. And he said, yeah, I had a crush on them. But I don't know. And the thing is that bothered me, and I told him this, is that I didn't like the fact that I was trying to be someone I wasn't when I was talking to them. Because the thing I like about Tyson is the fact that I can be myself with him. And it's the same thing with, like, every time I had drinks with him and another close colleague, and even when we have lunch and speak in the office, I'm coming in as authentic Kane. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. But when I'm with Megan and Kai, I'm a complete different person. I'm trying to be someone I'm not, just to impress them. And it bothers me. And I told him that. I told him, look, I don't really like trying to be someone I'm not. Trying to say like, oh yeah, and then thinking, oh yeah, these guys are hanging out on like movie nights and like during the weekends and all that stuff, and thinking, oh yeah, I'll join you guys. I'm trying to be the party king or some crap. Trying to be someone I'm basically not. And I'm not a extroverted person like these guys. You know? Anyway, so yeah, I told him I wasn't interested in Jennifer, but I was interested in Megan. You know, I was attracted to her, but I don't think I was. The thing is that one of my concerns was that I just didn't think, sure. And actually, if there was one thing that I learned from this night, is I talked to Megan. I got to know them a bit, but there was just bits about Megan that just really bothered me, actually. And, you know, and I'll set some examples. At least I'll try my best to. So, you know, even just things when I was just doing, even the smallest of gestures, you know, the way she was like, oh, you know, pointing me out or mocking. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know if it's like a smirk or mocking me for just the gestures that I do, the way, the stuff the shit I do. And even when it came to like things around, you know, what kind of movies are you into? I'm like, I don't watch movies. I don't have a favorite movie. And they look at me, and I actually told them, I literally, they looked at me in shock, and I basically said, you know, yeah, it's clear that I need to watch the movies. And she was like, oh yeah, clearly you do. And bruv, it really pissed me. It not pissed me off, but it rubbed me off in the wrong way. Because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, part of the reason why I don't watch movies is that I spend the majority of my time on just other things. Just other things just take priority over movies. Like movies, the thing is, it's just, I don't know if it's just not really my cup of tea. And yeah, it's just like little things like that where just, and even just little things where I was just like trying to be relaxed and trying to be myself. It just felt like it just wasn't compatible, but it just felt like there was like this weird pushback from Megan. And the thing is, I actually tried to be the best version of myself, even with drinks. And it just felt like, it just really felt like Megan was just, I don't know, it just felt like everything I did, it just felt like there was just something about Megan just really put me off. And it really felt like, and the vibe I was getting as well from Megan was like, she definitely seemed like a free spirit, and she was so relaxed, she was so chilled, but not the kind of person who I could see being with long term. I just don't see it, and it just and to be honest, it just felt like even when I was trying to present myself being a decent version of myself, even with drinks, it was a wash, man. It felt like it wasn't. There was like little things that I was just getting picked on by Megan. Not picked on, but I interpreted it as being picked on. Like, it was just like, and it made me doubt myself, thinking, who am I and what am I doing? Like, even Megan is just like not really digging. Just this negging. I'm not sure if it's negging the right word, but just like picking on little things, man. I'm just like. And I thought, and I was really questioning and thinking, am I really doing something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? And the answer is, no, there isn't. I just sincerely think that I'm being myself, even when I'm pissed. And so pissed, when I say pissed, I mean drunk, or just having a good time. I did present myself as the real, and a decent version of Kane, but not to an extent, right? At least when I was with Kai and Megan, when they were around, of course I was trying to like put on a cool, funny facade. I'm just trying to put like a mask on and try to put it to say it is. And even that, I just didn't think it was good enough for Megan. Period. I just felt that vibe. So when when Kai and Megan left, it just, I felt empty inside. Honestly, I just felt so shit about myself. I'll be real on that. And I actually said that to Tyson. I told him the thing that really bothered me is like, even though I have a crush on Megan, I felt actually nothing from that night. I did. The only thing that I can say is like, look, you're cute. I thought you're decent looking. But in terms of like the actual kindness and whether there will be long-term material, I just didn't feel that. And even when I got to know them properly this time round, so compared to Sunday, I was thinking, oh, I saw them on Hinge. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. I thought, let me give it the chance to get to know them. Last night was the night I got to know them a bit more, and I'll be real, it just didn't really align with what I really wanted in a relationship. I really felt that. I felt that weird emptiness. It was so bizarre, and I thought to myself, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone just because of they're good looking. I want to be in a good relationship with someone who are very decently attractive, but at the same time who are good, relationship material. And you know what Tyson said? Tyson actually said, so when I went to the so basically when me and Kai went to the restroom, it was just Tyson and Megan. They spoke for a bit, and you know what Tyson said to me after when they left, Kai and Megan? Tyson actually told me that he basically said that he can tell that, and I told him that, yeah, Megan is 23, by the way. I told him the whole thing. Megan's 23. I saw her on the app. She may be looking for something long term, and he actually told me, based on what he, the brief interaction he had with Megan, he got the vibe and the impression that Megan isn't material worth. She is not worthy to be, she's not marriage material. And when he told me that, because he was basically saying, because I think Megan basically asked him, oh, do you see yourself going back anytime soon? And he told me that I wouldn't be surprised if Megan ever goes back to the US. Just for context, I'm from the UK. I live in the UK. And all of this happened in the UK, in London. And I don't really want to be messing around with someone who's from another place and doesn't see themselves being here long term. They're 23. I can only mean them being here for a couple of years, having a good time, enjoying the UK life, and then they dip back to US or another country. That's the vibe I got when I spoke to her tonight or last night, and that was reciprocated based on talking to Tyson. And Tyson again mentioned about Jennifer, because Tyson is fairly close with Jennifer, and he actually said Jennifer is marriage material. And what would be my response to this? So I will say, I wouldn't mind that, because compared to Megan and Jennifer was really kind. She is really nice, and I feel like I feel comfortable talking to her. I remember during the first initial interactions, I was very shy, very introverted towards her, but. And even today, I was very laid back, just treated her like any other, and she even had the confidence to join us for lunch, me and my close colleagues, and Jennifer and Tyson joined. And yeah, it was a good time, and I can see why Tyson said that Jennifer would be married material, because she is a genuinely kind person. Sure, she may be from Cyprus, but she compared to Megan, at least Jennifer didn't really judge me for being, introverted, and she never negged on all the little things about me. She just chilled, she was a little relaxed, and just we had a conversation back and forth. I just thought she was going to be joining us for drinks last night, but yeah, I think she just left. But she was nice. She was such a lovely person, man. But again, to Tyson's opinion about Jennifer being more marriage material and Megan not being marriage material, I honestly completely agreed with him. And I told him look, the only reason I was attracted to Megan was just based on the looks, But in terms of personality and all those things, I felt the complete opposite, and it really bothered me that I was trying to be someone I wasn't. And yeah, when he told me that, she wasn't marriage material, that kind of hit home to me. And this is aligning, and this is the key. I'm not taking Tyson's opinion at face value here. I'm basically aligning this with what I've experienced with Megan, because again, there were instances where they were extroverted, and there were just instances where they just, I don't want to say picked on me, but there were just things when this were just gaps in me that they definitely commented on or just picked on, parts of me, who I am. They commented on that, and it bothered me. I'm thinking, this is fucking Kane, and I'm sorry, I'm not drunk at this point, but I'm being real on this one. I was sincerely being Kane. it just felt like it just wasn't good enough, you know. And that's how I felt. And but even then, you know, I sure, I think as friends, sure. Even then, it just something just felt so wrong. Especially when I was with Kai and Megan, I felt like I had to be a different person in front of them, just to please them, just to get them to invite me during their external socials and being invited on the weekends and all of that shit, you know. And Tyson saw right through that in V. And when I told him, you know, it was just me and Tyson, I told him about, like, I'm sick and tired of trying to be someone I'm not. He literally saw right through me. And I told him, and the reason I told him everything, including my crush on Megan, you know, is because, you know, Tyson really knows. He's one of my close colleagues. And he's one of the people who knows who I am really when I'm sober. He knows the real Kane. And yeah, and honestly, shout out to Tyson because we had another pint. So we had 4 pints in total that night. We ordered some wings in. And shout out to this one bloke, like, who basically offered us free wings. That was sick. He offered us free wings. You know, we spoke more. I basically told him. And he even told me, like, he even said, like, look, if you have a crush on Jennifer, I'm close with them. I can try and talk to them, see if there's anything there. And I thought, no, you don't have to do that, man. I thought, thanks, Tyson. But he was a sincere guy. And one thing I really appreciate was the fact that he didn't make a judgment, you know, but, you know, in terms of whether I'd be compatible with this person, predominantly based on looks. You know, he made a judgment based on whether this person is looking for something serious. You know, do they see the, you know, marriage and all those things? That perspective is something, as someone who's 27, that is ultimately what I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for something short term. I'm not looking for any of that. I want something long term. You know, eventually, you know, get married, have some kids, you know, and just have a good life with them. Just share a nice chapter with them. You know, something long term, something where they're here in the UK, or whether it's me moving, you know, but we settle down together, you know. But he gave that perspective. He basically provided a perspective of someone, from a perspective of, I don't think you'll get on well with them because they don't seem like marriage material. And again, I completely agree with that. I'm only attracted to them just based on looks, which isn't the right thing. Especially if I was 18 or 21 when this happened, if I was experiencing this, I say Merry freaking Christmas, go right ahead. But I'm 27, and I'm old enough to realize that life is too short, and I sincerely want something real. I want something long term. I said I want marriage, I want kids. You know, marriage, you know, I want something long term, my friends. And Megan isn't it. You know, we're just not compatible. I'm reserved, they're more extroverted, and the thing is, if I'm thinking about extroverted, it's like, they'll, I'm not sure if that's a thing with all extroverts, but at least for Megan, they picked out the little things in me, which just made me feel worse off. You know, that's how I felt about it. And that's kind of why I felt a bit gutted and down when both, you know, Kai and Megan left, and it was just me and Tyson, because I just thought, I went through all this and just went through the facade and all this stuff for no reason. It just felt like I was trying to be someone I'm not, and I thought, what is the point of trying to present yourself and presenting a fake version of yourself just to please others? It just didn't make sense to me. So anyway, you know, I had a conversation with Tyson. It was a really good conversation. You know, we actually exchanged numbers that night. You know, and actually in the start of the video, I texted him to say, like, hope he gets safe. You know, hope he gets home safely. I just got home, an hour ago, late night, and just trying to think. And yeah, we parted ways. I was thinking, I'm basically on my way back home on the trains. I really was thinking about everything that just went down that night, and here is my conclusions based on this. And this is from someone who's just I'll probably say I'm sober, and to be honest, I'd rather speak this now rather than sleeping on this, because if I sleep on this, I'm gonna not remember half the shit that went down that night. But what I will say is, Megan, yes, you are somewhat attractive. Somewhat. Not as attractive as I thought, but I will say not as attractive as I thought I pictured in my head. When I actually looked you dead in the eye, I actually realised you're not that attractive as I thought I envisioned in my head. So that's one thing in my brain. I love how my brain likes to tend to stuff to like really envision like these people would be like extra hot or some shit. It's like, no. You looked at them in the eye and thinking they're just average. Not average, but you realise that what they look like in reality does not align with what you picture in your head. My head was like here, and what they look like is like this. I'm not gonna say this. That's a bit rude, and that's not true. They still look somewhat attractive, right? And again, no disrespect to Kai and Megan. They are nice people. They are sincerely nice people. They are extroverted, and I'm not an extrovert. Now, I'm sure people can relate to me. It's like, as a reserved, and I'll probably say I'm on the introvert side. Imagine, can you imagine, I'm sure people who are on the introvert side can relate to the experience they would have with extroverted people. It's different, man. We behave differently. It's not behave differently, but it's like, it's the different personalities just collide together. It's just a bit weird. It's just a bit awkward, if you catch my drift. But I don't regret the night. And I'm glad I'm making this video, man, because there's there's so many things in this, and I have so much gameplay to go through, man. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, shout outs to Kai for arranging the drinks in the first place. To be honest, it was good to see, good to see Kai, Megan, Max, Max and Tyson. It was good to see all of them. Especially Megan. Obviously, I was thinking ever since the whole Hinge shenanigans happened on Sunday, I honestly thought I would be struggling to look in the eye. And as I mentioned yesterday, even to the point where I was looking down, dead in. I was so shy even during the team meeting when I saw her in the corner of my eye. I literally looked away from her, just because I was like, that's how awkward I felt about the whole situation. But to then end the night speaking to her dead in the eye, and I can actually see Megan for who she really was. And to be honest, sincerely, I realized that I'm just not attracted to you. I may be attracted to you physically, on attraction level, sure, but personality and kindness and whether it would be a compatible fit, I just didn't feel that at all. And to the point where even my close colleague Tyson, and Tyson is married, he has a kid, so when I spoke to him about it, and he said when he spoke to her one-on-one with Megan that she isn't marriage material, I completely agreed on that. And this is just based on what I experienced, based on actually one-on-one interacting with Megan. And I'm glad I got to speak to Megan, because she is safe, maybe as a friend, but beyond that, it's just if I have a crush, I'm only having a crush because she's cute. That's it, not personality-wise. And, the other thing I did say is look, Kai did technically invite me, potentially invited me basically invited me to join them on a cinema or some shit that happens going on Friday night. I know that Kai, Megan, I'm hoping Max is going to be there, and I know that one of our friends who I quite like as well are potentially joining as well. So if they're joining, if they do invite, man, I literally told Tyson, just me and him, I don't know if I want to even join that. But you know what Tyson said? He said, join it anyway, man. Why not? What have you got to lose? And he said he'll call me. He literally called me on Friday. He'll literally call me to see how things are going, man. I'm thinking, honestly, Tyson, shouts to that guy, man. Because I told him, the reason why I can speak clearly and openly to Tyson is because I've gone really well with Tyson, and he knows who I am, truthfully. Just like two of my other colleagues. There's two colleagues in this current place as of 2025 who I've gotten really well with. And no, I would say 4 colleagues. I usually have lunch with. I've gone really well with them. 2 of them, we basically joined within the same month, or within the 3 months of the first 3 months of 2023. We all joined around the same time, and that's how we bonded, had lunch together, and we just set our own challenges. And we always help each other out. It's lit, man. Lit times. And yeah, and then Tyson joined us shortly, and he joined us for lunch. Chartered colleague, I've gone really well with him. So when he joined us for lunch last night, again, mind you, I'm 27, Megan is 23, Kai is 29, and Tyson is 34, and Max is, I think he's also 29 as well. But, Max is basically the oldest. Tyson is the oldest, 34. He is the most maturest out of all of us. He's married. He's the only one that's married. He has a kid. He's living a happy life. And I really think he is really living a happy life. So when he told me everything and we had a proper one-on-one conversation, deep, it was a sick conversation, man. And I want to say massive shout outs to Tyson. And he was the one who did come and encourage me to basically, even though I was like debating, is it even worth going on my way to try and go on Friday night, trying to be someone I wasn't. But I thought, you know what? All I'm gonna do is I'll message Kai on Friday and just ping him and say, yo, where you guys at? If it happens, if they're gonna do something, they're gonna do something. If they don't, they don't. I don't give a fuck. If they do something, cool. But I'll ping him on Friday. If they down to let me know what's going on, I'll try and I'll try and join them if I can. But if I don't, that's also cool. Because if there's one thing I learned from this night is don't necessarily and I guess after talking to all that for 1 hour and 30, this is definitely a record, man. Holy shit. But I think one of the crucial lessons from this is when it comes to work related crushes, I guess one of the things I just kind of underestimated was a lot of things were just happening in my head, and the things I was really prioritizing, looks over like personality. Look, this is just one of those times, and where you may be decent looking, but the personality and the traits, like the more important shit, really just it was like an all-time low. Even though you're decent looking, it just really bugged me, man. It really turned me off, actually. Really turned me off. And that's why I had to be straight with Tyson when I told him I may have a crush, and the only reason I have a crush on you is because you're decent looking. That's it. Personality wise, no. And that's why it is very important to really look. I'm not. When it comes to a future relationship and a long-term relationship, I think physical attraction is important, but they don't have to be like a 10 out of 10. You know, if you find them decently cute, great. But if they have an excellent personality, that's more important. You know, because they're the ones going to make you feel good. You're going to, you know, help each other grow and all those good things. I just didn't see that every time I kept on talking to Megan one-on-one. And everything that I envisioned in my head, and when I spoke to Megan, it just bursted. Because it was different. And that's why, if you really want to get over your, if you really want to see if you actually have a crush, and actually, by the way, if you have feelings towards the person, don't shy away from the opportunity to get to know them. Actually, speak to them, get to know them, and you know, and then you'll actually see who they really are. And my goodness, when I got to know them a bit more, and I realized, holy shit, you know, I realized that this is kind of shit, man. I don't want to be someone I'm not. You know, and what was even more sinister is like, I was even trying to be a different version of myself, and even that wasn't good enough. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what's even worse? Like, this is me being exaggerated. Like, I was, you know, I'm reserved here. On that night, you know, with, you know, Kai and Megan, I exaggerated myself and tried to really hype myself and try, you know, with the drinks and all that shit, try and talk whatever came to mind, right? Trying to keep a conversation. And in the end, it just, you know, Megan ended up just picking on the little things about me, which bothered me. And I realized that, it made me realize that if the exaggerated wasn't good enough, there's no shot that the normal actual Kane isn't good enough, because I don't watch movies. I don't go outside as much. You know, I'm a very reserved person. I like to do things different, a unique set of things in my free time. I'm a, you know, I have my own things, and yeah, I'm not very attuned to what's going on in, you know. Yeah, the whole, so I can't really relate in terms of the multitude of topics they're talking about. I can't relate to it. You know, I'm not the kind of person who stays up at night watching movies till like a fucking movie marathon until like 5 in the morning. I'm thinking, no. Or I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? It's a bit mental. And to be honest, do I even thinking about it? Do I even want to do it on Friday night? Bro, I'll be questioning that, bro. I'll be questioning that. But yeah, it feels good making this video because I'm sure that the future version of Kane would be able to look back on this, know who the names are, because I'm thinking to myself, I have a matrix literally here of who is who in this whole story, and I hope this is definitely a lesson to just realize that don't be so fooled by the looks, dude. You know, if you really have feelings, just see who they are in person, get to know them as a person, and then you can actually see for yourself. And that's the thing that I actually am proud of, is that I can walk away from that and realize that yes, you are somewhat cute, but we're not going to be compatible. I don't see you as marriage material. I don't see you as long term. And to be honest, there was just certain things about you. It's just like, Jesus, it kind of just like realize, yeah, this is. I'm not gonna ever ask you out. I'm not even gonna go down that route. And I'm thinking to myself, we would never be a match. And I'm not. And most importantly, and I think the one thing I really want to like try and encourage to myself and the future Kane is don't ever try and be someone you're not just for the sake of pleasing others. That really cheesed me off. It turned out that even trying to be a more elevated version of yourself, trying to be this big man, even after a couple of drinks, it doesn't do shit for you. Like, if anything, it makes it worse. Like, they will just pick on the little things, and it's just like, you look at it thinking, wow. And I thought, wow. And it just made me realize that if they don't like me for this elevated version of myself, elevated version of men, thinking there's no shot in the night they're gonna like the real Kane, who's a bit more boring, or just like a bit more reserved and just has his own unique set of, interests and passions and all that great stuff. I can go on a tangent on the passion stuff, but it's a bit different compared to other people, compared to an average person. Every person has something different, and I can't relate. So when, again, I said one of the conversations that came up was movies. I can't relate onto the movies, man. I really can't. And they literally asked me, what was your favorite place, or when did you go to this place, or what was your favorite movie? And I'm thinking, I can't fucking answer that. Honestly, I was struggling so hard. It was so hard. I can't. I'm not a movie person. I'm not you geezers, man, who just set up for freaking till like 5 a.m. from like 9 p.m. to like 5 a.m. Oh no, 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. watching a movie marathon. I don't know how I feel about this. And yeah, I think probably at this point, I'm probably going to be at a point where I'm trying to like convince myself that these guys are X, Y, and Z. Look, sincerely, Megan and Kai, they're decent people. I'm probably going to like message Kai on Friday, just to see if just to see if that's what's going on Friday. I might be open to the idea of, linking up with him and just take it from there. I might make another extension to this video, man. Anything for the video, man. Megan, yeah, I think she's cool. As a friend, cool as a friend. Not anything beyond that. Sure, I may think you're cute, but after this night, I don't feel that connection. Sure, even if I may have that connection, I feel I may have that crush on you, I know deep down in my heart, this is just not it. I don't see it ever working long term. For the reasons I explained throughout this video. And, my gosh, it is currently 2:06 a.m. in the morning. I am very glad I went through this experience though, because to be honest, everything I experienced, I could have quit, and I could have said no to the drinks. I could have walked away and ran away from Megan as soon as I saw her in the evening. As soon as I realised that Megan was coming, I could have walked away and said, I'm gonna dip and just fuck off. I could have done that, but I stood my ground. I stayed, and I literally spoke to her one-on-one. And I finally actually got to know them and really get the actual answer that I needed in terms of whether they're compatible with me, and the answer is no, they're not. And again, it wasn't easy today. Last night, it really wasn't. Just going through all those things. But it was a good night. I have to give a massive shout out to Tyson, man. Tyson is the real G. Tyson, your actual name. Like, I know your name is obviously not Tyson, but you know exactly who you are. And I'm gonna have to ask him for the pictures. We took a picture together, man. Honestly, Tyson is a real goat. And the thing is, like, the funny thing I like about Tyson is, like, yeah, for various reasons, he was very considerate. He was even like pulled me aside and just make sure I was all good. He make sure that he felt bad. He even said he felt bad for him just having a little joke about Jennifer. It was he was such a good guy. And even when Megan and Kai dipped, me and Dyson had another pint. We had another pint. We had another wings. You know, I know another colleague of ours will be proud for what we did. We had 4 pints in total. We had 2 wings, I think. Yeah, 2 wings. Shout out to that geezer who gave us another pair of wings. I took those. We split the 2 wings. I took the wings. We wrapped on the tissue, and I just ate on a tray. My G. But yeah, shout out to Tyson because again, you know, after obviously when Megan and Tyson left. When Megan and Kai left, that's when I opened up a bit more to Tyson about my feelings towards Megan, and he just told me the truth and what he thought. It just really aligned with what I thought, and it really gave me that closure. And I think I'm gonna be able to move forward fairly easily, I think. And I made this video because it's highly possible that I'm gonna be able to. I might wake up and thinking, oh my gosh, it was so cool talking to Megan that night. You know, it was I can't believe I talked to Megan, my crush. I'm thinking, no, I want to record this video and just tell you the real truth. And tell you outright, Megan, no, fuck off. I may be a bit buzzed on the drinks, but I'm sincerely, no. In terms of any romantic interest, you know, it was purely just attraction. That's it. You know, personality and all that stuff, no. And that's why I think this is a waste of my time. I know that this is just a rabbit hole and I'm not going to entertain it. You know, life is too short. I'm 27, she's 23. Nothing wrong with the age gap, by the way. But it's just the fact that I'm looking for something a bit more serious, and the vibe they're giving this, they're not. You know, and I want to end on that video, on that note, because we all like to, you know, it's very easy for me to say, oh yeah, it was so cool speaking to Megan, blah blah blah. But bruv, you know, I want this to be. Kane, I want you to actually know the actual truth. You know, that night, it made me realize that no, Megan is not the one. You know, looks couldn't be everything. It might be like the hugest thing. Is like, you know, it may determine your entire crush. But when you actually get to know them, you actually get to know their personality, and that is what really matters. If it doesn't matter if they're fucking 10 out of 10, but if they have such a shit personality, you are wasting your time. You're gonna be miserable for the rest of your life. And that's that emptiness that I felt when I spoke to Megan. I can't emphasize that enough, man. This is how empty I felt. It just felt so weird, and I know she's not the one. From the bottom of my heart, she's definitely not the one. And to be honest, if you're following and having crushes purely based on looks, and not considering getting to know them and basing it on their personality and, you know, their kindness and all that stuff, that's just the wrong way to live life, man. And I'm the reason why I'm making this video is like, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of other people in the foreseeable future who I may have a crush on just purely based on looks and not really take into consideration the personality. You know, and yeah, I just want that to be known. Oh, wow, 1 hour and 28. Do we even have? I'm trying to think. Do we even have 1 hour and 28 minutes worth of footage? Well, if this video is if this video is uploaded, you better thank your boy for having a shit ton of content to basically try and produce a video. But I have a couple of ideas on making the on you know, making this video. So yeah, this video should be uploaded relatively soon. But for the future version of Kane, keep your head up high and realize that keep putting yourself out there. You know, there's nothing wrong with the, you know, the social aspects and all that stuff. I think that's excellent. But don't be chasing purely based on looks. You know, I think that's superficial shit. You know, really get more attracted to the you know, what are they really looking for? And yeah, last night it really was an eye opener to really just talk to Megan. And I really thought I was going to be falling in love and thinking, wow, Megan is so cool. And I really thought I was going to struggle talking to Megan. Actually, I was fairly decent talking to Megan, actually. And I honestly thought, throughout the day, I honestly thought I was going to stumble and really fumble just my words when talking to Megan. I really thought I was going to lose words. I actually, we even get the pints, and I was able to talk to Megan with confidence. And I talked without just not really giving a shit. And it kind of just told me that it kind of just faded. The spark that I felt in my heart towards Megan just faded. And the more they were like picking on me for like my little things that I was just doing, little actions I was just doing, I was just having a bit of fun and all that shit. It just sparked it, just cut it out proper, quick. And yeah, that's how I feel, man. And the other thing is like, I still feel the same way in terms of wanting to find another job relatively soon. I want to find another opportunity. You know, I want to keep elevating myself and keep improving myself. And you know, shouts to the two of my close friends who I contacted just to get some advice and just to get to know a bit more about the whole situation. You know, is it really normal to be bored on a job? And it is normal. It is actually fairly common to have that boredom. It is important though to try and ask for opportunities to try different things and try different tasks and try and keep it varied. Or even better yet, even like there's nothing wrong with finding another job as well. You know, you just got to try and manage your expectations and just realize it is common to an extent, but just keep your chin high, chief. But anyway, on that note, I want to say that it has been a privilege and an honor to be making this video. It is 2:16 in the morning. Holy shit! I bet the future Kane will be looking back on this, enjoying a nice pot of popcorn, you know, and hopefully with a bit more awareness and just realizing that I really do believe that personality really is more important than looks in a relationship. If you can get both looks, the decent looking, I'm not gonna say like extra hot, like just decent looking, but have a really good personality, bro, solid. That I think is key, you know. And on that note, I'm gonna end on that. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been your host Trujan, aka Kane, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Gosh, I am tired, man. I hope I get some brownie points for this, man. It is 2:17, man, in the morning. Anyway.